let me give you some of the statements that you have made. It says, the time to change the system to fix election date is now. Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the general election date in Jamaica. This will bring greater certainty to political process. Andrew Holness said that February 10th, 2016.
Look around Jamaica. The nation doesn't own anything. Nothing is state-owned. Highways are supposed to be income generator for a nation. Jamaica doesn't own that. They do not own the ports. They do not own the wharf, the airport. That's gone. Now, the cockpit country will be destroyed. The backside is not state-owned. Now, we have lost everything that should be earning revenue for us. Think about the tourist industry. Do you see Jamaicans owning these major all-inclusive hotels? No.
Members of the public, and in particular, participants in Jamaica's lawful regulated ganja industry, are very perplexed and indeed concerned that the regulator of the industry, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, has granted a license to some entity to import ganja into Jamaica from Canada. It is well known that the Canadian market has been largely inaccessible to Jamaica's producers, who, try as they might, have found it very difficult, if not impossible, to sell Jamaican ganja and ganja products by way of export into Canada.
RymeNation family, back on, says my peeps, they're back with another video. So Damion Crawford I got exposed and Holness dirty and lying ways RymeNation family. So back in 2016, when such man did a bid for become Prime Minister, he said that in the first 100 days he would set in place for legislation to get a fixed election date. Right? Fast forward in a RymeNation family to 2018. The man say, Andrew Holness say, plans are in place to get a fixed election date. Fast forward to 2023 now, RymeNation family. The man is the Prime Minister of Jamaica, same way. And nothing has changed. Yo, these people, they make some ridiculous statements and some promises. And when them win, it seems like them forget what them did say. Them are going to do. And them not do it. And people get tricked for that. So, and the next thing, Mark Golden, I got to talk about how the Cannabis Licensing Authority has granted some entities license in Jamaica to import Canadian ganja into Jamaica. And a lot of, ganja farmers which have them license, say them really upset and can't believe how these people grant the other people them license to import Canadian ganja to Jamaica, and Jamaica have one of the best ganja in the world. So firstly, I'm going to take a look on that video with Mark Golden, and then afterwards I'm going to take a look upon the Damion Crawford video. And also a concerned Jamaican, I go speak about how overseas entities control most of the things in Jamaica and Jamaicans not own nothing. So take a look on the video and think. And if you're new to the RymeNation channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, like up the video, share the video, my peeps. And me have a next YouTube channel, so I'm going to leave the YouTube channel link down in the comment section of this video, so you guys can go ahead and subscribe to that YouTube channel. I'm soon start upload some more content to it and things, so make sure to go over there and subscribe. Take a look on the video.
Members of the public, and in particular, participants in Jamaica's lawful regulated ganja industry, are very perplexed and indeed concerned that the regulator of the industry, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, has granted a license to some entity to import ganja into Jamaica from Canada. It is well known that the Canadian market has been largely inaccessible to Jamaica's producers, who, try as they might, have found it very difficult, if not impossible, to sell Jamaican ganja and ganja products by way of export into Canada. The Cannabis Licensing Authority owes the public an explanation as to exactly what is the thinking behind the grant of such a license, and indeed the minister under whose portfolio this lies, Senator Aubin Hill, or his junior minister Norman Dunn, must come forward and explain why a license would be granted to be importing ganja into Jamaica from Canada. When I designed the reform which led to the decriminalization of personal use of ganja and the establishment of a regulated industry in medicinal and therapeutic ganja in 2015, the idea was to empower small farmers in particular and allow those who had built the brand for Jamaica over a century of struggle through prohibition would have access to a lawful industry where they could receive technology and investment and leverage Jamaica's brand through international transactions as well as domestic market transactions. It was never envisaged that Jamaica would become a place in which cannabis would be imported, ganja would be imported from elsewhere into our market for sale domestically, unless there's some very good reason for that. So we need to understand why this is happening now.
Yes, sir, RymeNation family. Just take a look on that video. So right about now, I can make you take a look on the Damion Crawford video and him statement and him bombshell them where my job about Andrew Holness. So take a look on the video.
Let I give you some of the statements that you have made. It says, the time to change the system to fix election date is now. Within our first 100 days of government, we will start the legislative process to fix the general election date in Jamaica. This will bring greater certainty to political process. Andrew Holness said that February 10th, 2016. 2016. Jamaica Prime Minister Andrew Holness has revealed that plans are on track for fixed election date. He said this in 2018. Holness told Parliament, and I quote, during his contribution to the budget debate in 2018, that he had instructed Justice Minister Delroy Chuck to table a ministry paper and draft legislation for the fixing of election dates. Now to this date. But to this date, no. Well, he might have to either fire Minister Chuck or accept that he was being untruthful. Because the two cannot come together, the two cannot stand.
The job description wasn't met.
He says, listen what he said. If the country is serious about fiscal discipline, a fixed election date would be a necessary step. Now you're coming with the opposite. You're saying that your conversation about fiscal discipline would mean that election should be delayed. He said, I quote, if the country is serious about fiscal discipline, a fixed election date would be a necessary step. He goes further. He goes further. He goes further. No, Prime Minister Holness. He goes further. Not having fixed election dates come as a significant cost to business and delays our growth agenda. That is opposite to what not having this paper. That's number 3 in reverse. That's number 2 in reverse. Both 2 and 3. He said, let I tell you, I gotta look. A significant cost to business. A significant cost to business. Hold on, man. All right. Hold on. Our growth agenda. I'm going to take a deep breath. Because the student is disrespectful. Give us some time. The ability to afford is based on our ability to grow. The Prime Minister himself, with the failed 5 and 4, suggested that the economy's growth would lead to more funds available to do the priorities of the society. So therefore, that part about we are being able to grow will make we can afford it. The impact on business will lead to destabilization in business uncertainty. That is why that is number 2 and 3. But it's opposite to something in what we put in here now. Opposite to something. He says further, fiscal discipline and obeying our fiscal rules, election can no longer be allowed to supervene a fiscal cycle. Neither should the country be disrupted by protracted periods of uncertainty. Wasn't the last 5 months total uncertainty?
Yes.
Everybody either prepared, unprepared. If the cleaner never bust say it now keep, we wouldn't know say it now keep. With the minister of security just randomly saying, you know, so we don't think it'll keep because, you know, we're not too nothing right now. Then he comes. Neither, I'm quoting, on the silent thing, neither should the country be disrupted by protracted periods of uncertainty, mobilizing, demobilizing, and then mobilizing again according to the political expediency. In the last 3 years, you come here 3 times for which we mobilize and demobilize and mobilize and demobilize. The hypocrisy of liars is based on a seared conscience. Seared conscience. What do you mean not true? The duty of those not in power is to prepare for power. Yes, we were mobilized. I was on the road. That's why I see you in Bulby. I saw you. I saw you in Bulby.
Look around Jamaica. The nation doesn't own anything. Nothing is state-owned. Highways are supposed to be income generator for a nation. Jamaica doesn't own that. They do not own the ports. They do not own the wharf, the airport. That's gone. Now, the cockpit country will be destroyed. The backside is not state-owned. Now, we have lost everything that should be earning revenue for us. Think about the tourist industry. Do you see Jamaicans owning these major all-inclusive hotels? No. These are the new slave plantations owned by foreigners. Go to the hotel right now to spend the weekend and talk to the people who work there. You have people working in these major hotels for months without pay. Months. Some of them get a free ride from the town center to the hotel in the staff bus and them get some free lunch. That's it. They depend on the gratuity of the good people. This is an all-inclusive hotel. You don't have to tip them. But people do tip them. That's how they survive. Now, you wonder why teachers, nurses, police officers, soldiers, all these people who are supposed to be developing the nation are running away from Jamaica. You can't live a meaningful life in Jamaica unless you're corrupted. And you guys don't come in here and talk about how X, Y, and Z do it. 90% of these people earn their income and their wealth and their fortune through illicit means. I'm talking about legal people. Law-abiding people. You understand? People who actually live a life that's meaningful and filled with integrity. Then you wonder why people leave Jamaica. I know everybody want corrupt. I know everybody want do wrongs. And we have some leaders who does not care. And it's sad. It aches us. It aches us that the people who are supposed to be providing opportunities are taking them away. John, no, it's rough.